If you're getting started as a new realtor in 2024, it's not going to be a walk in the park. However, I'm going to give you 8 tactical things that you can get started with today in order to set yourself up for massive success, and at the end of this, give you a roadmap of what you could do to break 6 figures in your first year as a new agent in this market. I want to see you win. The failure rate's about 87% in real estate, and I want to make sure that you're one of the 13% that make it thrive and build the business that you got into the industry to achieve. What's up? My name is Mike Sherrod with eXp Realty. I train thousands of agents every year, and I'm excited to give you the roadmap because there's a lot of ambiguity about the market right now. A lot of concern about interest rates. Tens of thousands of agents left the industry in 2023, and I want to make sure that you're not going to fall victim to that. So I'm going to break down everything from lead generation, personal branding, time management, and everything that you need in order to be aware of to thrive this year. Okay, so the first one is going to come at you from a bit of an unorthodox angle that is going to seem obvious, but I'm going to give some context to it, which is that you need to talk to people. And I know that that sounds obvious, but the truth of the matter is you see a lot of agents right now that are trying to just hide behind social media. And I teach agents, thousands of agents every year, how to use social media. But right now, where the market is and the state of the economy and everything else, the ones that are winning right now are the ones that are talking to the most people face to face or on the phone. And so if you're a new agent getting into the industry right now, you need to be mindful of a concept of adding at least 5 to 10 people to your database or non-existent database every single day. And so I'm going to talk about prospecting and social media later on, but just the concept of talking to everybody humanly possible. I interviewed somebody, and if you want this interview, drop a comment below. She was a new agent from Colombia, didn't have a car or a cell phone or anything, and broke $300,000 in her first year with no ad spend, nothing. Just talking to people. And so if you want that, I encourage you to watch that interview. It's unbelievable and even a bit emotional. But the importance here is that everybody overcomplicates real estate. The truth of the matter is that the more people you know and the more people who know you, the more business that you do. Plain and simple. So when you boil it down to that, if you're a new agent with no sphere, no money, like most of us, like I started 7 years ago, then you need to just talk to people. So when you get your license, don't be a secret agent like many. Don't be shy to announce that you're a realtor. Share it and shout it from a mountaintop and let everybody know, because you're only doing a disservice to yourself and potentially the people in your network by not allowing them to be privy to the fact that you're now a real estate agent. Number 2, one from one of my good friends, Joshua Smith. If you don't follow his channel, make sure to check it out. It's unbelievable. But Josh talks about a sniper versus shotgun approach. You see, over the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic when the market was hotter than hell, you could kind of take a shotgun approach, which is just spraying and praying. You could run Facebook ads to whatever. You could run Google ads for whatever. You could put out any content. You could cold call anybody. And basically, during those times, if you got a lead, they were going to convert. They were going to sell for like 200 grand over list price in 12 minutes. That's no longer the case. And what Josh is referring to in terms of the shotgun versus sniper approach is that you need to be sniper focused in terms of understanding, based on your unique market, where the opportunities lie. So everybody's all on a flap right now, but interest rates and holding on. But what you need to understand is that the market's always good for somebody. And so when interest rates go through the roof or the economy's in a bit of a shamble, a lot of people take a step back and say, well, the market's not great, I'm just going to wait. But there's a whole category of people or categories of people who it's always going to be good for. There's no market in existence that is great for everyone or terrible for everyone. It doesn't happen. So knowing that, you need to start to study your market to figure out, who is it good for? Is it good for the investors? Is it good for people, unfortunately, that are getting divorced because during tough economic times that increases? Is it good for pre-foreclosures? Is it good for FSBOs? Like, who is it good for? And start to go after those. Right now, just based on the economy and the market, FSBOs and expireds are crushing it right now. So why not make that a priority of yours? Because now you could be laser focused on something that is going to give you the best chance of success instead of just spraying and praying and hoping to God that it works out. Now let's talk about prospecting, because that's going to pull that concept full circle of sniper versus shotgun. Active versus passive prospecting. If you're a new agent and you maybe don't know the difference, active prospecting is, in a sense, actively going out and generating leads. This is going to be your things like cold calling, door knocking, networking events. Then you've got the more passive side, which is going to be things like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook ads and Google ads is a bit of both because it's active in the nature of forcefully generating leads, but passive in the fact that you don't have to be doing it. It could be running at all times. So that's a bit of a blend. Now, my recommendation is that you should be doing both, but I want to give you some direction because I know that analysis paralysis is one of the biggest struggles for most agents, especially new agents, and I don't want that to be you. So my recommendation, based on the elite coaches that I've had conversations with, based on what I'm seeing work across a database of thousands of agents, I personally recommend choose either cold calling or door knocking and blend that with YouTube. So you've got one active, one passive. And the reason why they're important and why I think it's a shame when you see so many people trying to just go straight to passive is that, yes, I've helped new agents break $1 million GCI in their first year just from passive, but they're the unicorns that treat the passive prospecting like a full-time job. So can you get away with just doing passive or active? Yes, that is the truth. But when you look at what it takes to be full-time just from passive, is a lot of people attempt to put in part-time effort but get full-time results from their passive prospecting. So the ones that win and the ones that are doing those unicorn numbers when it comes to just leveraging passive prospecting, they are approaching it with full-time effort. Sun up to sundown, all in, recording at all times, editing, going out, finding lists, like they are doing everything. And it's not easy, but it also takes time because most of those agents, what you don't know, they break $1 million in the first year, but they got next to nothing in the first 6 months. So if you need business now, you have to prospect. And so my recommendation would be choosing, again, cold calling or door knocking. Cold calling is crushing right now, especially tapping into FSBOs and expireds. Tons of people out there on YouTube talking about this, amazing content. Pick a script, pick a video, get after it and go. But what happens is active prospecting is going to give you now business. Passive prospecting will give you later business. So in the immediacy, start to do both. So that way you could start to generate now business from your active prospecting. And once you hit that inflection point where your passive prospecting starts to pay off, you could dial back the active prospecting and eventually, hopefully, eliminate it all completely and start to just do content as well as leveraging your database, which I will get to. But my recommendation, new agent 2024, pick an active, pick a passive. My just go-to, if you don't want to overcomplicate it, overthink it, choose cold calling, FSBOs, expireds, and also choose YouTube. And if you want to know how to leverage YouTube properly as a new agent and exactly how to optimize your videos to rank in your local market for free, just drop a comment below and say YouTube SEO, and I'll give you a free video that walks you through all of it. And that leads perfectly into number 4, which is your CRM. This is seemingly the bane of the existence of all new agents and something that many people are very fearful of because it's techie in a sense. And this is where most people fall short. So I've interviewed hundreds of top producing agents, and the commonality amongst most of them is that nearly every top producer lives by their CRM and their database. Nearly every struggling agent does not even use or rarely uses a CRM. You see the disconnect there. So that being said, pick a CRM and learn it. And some people are going to look at this video and listen to this and say, well, which CRM? I don't freaking care. Pick one of them. You see, another thing, and I won't go too far into this because I've got other videos about it, but analysis paralysis keeps so many agents from taking action. And they hear that they need to use a CRM, so they spend the next 2 months going down the rabbit hole of Chime, KV Core, now Lofty with Chime, Follow Up Boss, Go High Level, and watching all the different comparison videos and seeing all the different nuances. Who cares? Pick one, learn it, use it, and if you get to the point where you need to change it over time, do it. But the worst thing you can do is overcomplicate it. Pick one freaking CRM, leverage it every day, spend 1 hour learning it, block it off in your calendar, and roll with it. Because you just need to use something, and what you'll see is they're all good at this point. So don't overcomplicate it, but you need a CRM, because once you start generating leads and talking to people at the grocery store and networking events, anything that you're doing to add those 5-10 people a day into your database, you need a database. So just pick one, maybe the most cost-effective one based on your current scenario, and start to make it a priority to just block off 1 hour a day to learn the different features and actually apply it. Number 5 is differentiating yourself by creating a unique personal brand. So in real estate, you are your brand. And this is one of the easiest ways as a new agent for free to be able to generate business, is to create a unique value proposition and also to create a personal brand that is a little bit different from everybody else. And if you want a video on personal branding, just drop a comment, say personal branding, and I'll give you a video of how to get your brand started as a new agent. But the essence of it is just look at your passions. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about this statement of, I am real estate and blank. So for me, for example, I am real estate and cars. Cars are my passion. It always has been as a little kid. And so I tapped into the car community. I love cars. Now I'm in a beautiful position to be able to have a decent one and a nice one. But in the beginning I didn't, but I tapped into that community. I went to the car meetups and I started to brand myself around that and tap into that community that had commonalities and similarities with me. If you're into horses, if you're into coffee, if you're into jiu-jitsu, if you're into sports, it doesn't matter. But start to identify your personal brand of what you want to be recognized for, and then create your unique value proposition around that. If you're a new agent, if you're a young agent, maybe you're more techie. Maybe you're somebody that, again, is able to leverage social media to get additional exposure on clients' properties like I did. Maybe you're not that techie, but you're incredibly connected in your local market, and you've created this list of everybody that people need to know in terms of plumbers and roofers and windows and painters and cleaners that you give your clients so that they have this unforgettable experience whenever they make a transition with you. But identifying that personal brand and unique value proposition is going to be really important for standing out amongst the clutter of the industry. Part number 6 is going to be that time management is essential. And I see a lot of agents struggle with this, especially new agents, because they're not used to being self-accountable. They're used to having repercussions if they don't do the activities they need to at their past job because they've got a boss or a manager. And time management is something that a lot of agents struggle with. Now, I do have videos that show you how to break out and build a full schedule. So if you would like that, just let me know in the comments. But it's really important for you to wake up and know exactly what you're doing, which will go into the next part of leveraging the power list. And so I'll talk about both simultaneously. Where a lot of agents get tripped up is they feel overwhelmed because they wake up every day and they have no clue what they should be doing. And they spend half the day trying to figure out what they should be doing. And then they get overwhelmed because they wasted half the day, but it's too late to prospect or do anything productive. So they start to dabble at a bunch of non-income producing activities, and then the day becomes a waste. And so it's really important, if you want to thrive right now in a slightly quirky, more difficult market than we've seen in the last couple of years, is to manage your time properly. And the power list is something that is created by Andy Frisella, one of my mentors. And essentially what this is 5 income producing activities that you need to get done every single day. So I write out the night before. That is the key. The night before, write out the 5 income producing needle moving activities that you need to do to make progress in your business the next day. The reason why it's so important to do the night before is everything's fresh from the current day, but also you can wake up and get after it and not have to waste that time in the morning trying to figure out what you should be doing. Now, the caveat to the power list is this has to be income producing activities. This is not dabbling with laundry and going groceries and going for a coffee with this person. This is your 1 to 3 hours of prospecting. This is creating content for short or long form. This is studying the market, sending CMAs, going to a networking event and getting X number of contacts. This is stuff that will actually build your business. And if you could start to build a calendar around the income producing activities that you need to do of generating leads, and you start to use the power list to keep you on track so that you're focused and not distracted, you're gonna start to see your business growing pretty quickly. And the goal is to be able to leverage the power list for 100 days straight. And if you do that, your business will skyrocket. And number 8 is just simplifying everything. Again, so many people complicate and overcomplicate real estate. You have 3 jobs, which is to get clients, service clients, nurture clients. Well, getting clients is all about prospecting, lead generation, active, passive, everything we talked about. Servicing clients is showing buyers and listing listings, which is, going to become second nature for you at some point. But then nurturing clients is going to be that CRM, database, sphere, things like that. So where I'm going with this is that if you're a new agent with no clients, you have 1 job, because you don't have to service anything you don't have. You don't have to nurture anything you don't have. The only things that should be going into your calendar and that power list is generating leads, not making fancy little brochures on Canva, not wasting a bunch of time trying to figure out which camera you should use or which CRM you should use. Pick whatever, roll with it, and spend your waking time going after business. And then once you get business, you can figure the rest out. But just focus on generating leads, because most agents have a lead problem, but they're focusing on learning all the nuances of servicing the clients they don't have, or all the different quirks about nurturing clients that they don't have. So go get clients, a ton of them, and then worry about the rest later. Now, if you have any other questions about being a new agent this year, drop a comment. I will respond to all of them. But also, if you want that video and that complete blueprint of how to break 6 figures in your first year, feel free to check out this next video. It will walk you through everything, business planning, goal setting, and everything you need to do to absolutely crush it, proven based on not just what I did, but what I've helped so many others with as well.